Breakthrough Media. Breakthrough Media.
Have you ever felt? Oh my God, this just keeps getting worse.
This guy is as dangerous as Klaus Schwab. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street own everything. Go on Yahoo Finance and look at the top 3 major shareholders on almost anything. Cell phone companies, AMC Theaters, MSM, including Fox, and on and on.
Who do you think is the most powerful man on the planet?
It's BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. These 3 companies are the largest shareholders of 88% of S&P 500 companies. You know how much total money there is in the world circulating? It's around $430 trillion, $440 trillion. They control $66 trillion of the entire world's wealth. So the commander-in-chief is not who we think it is. It's the CEO of BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. It's people like Larry Fink and George Soros. They have influence. We've always been like, is it good for a guy like Elon Musk to be as rich as he is? Elon Musk is nothing compared to what these guys are doing collectively together.
Real impact from what climate risk is doing, from flooding, from fires.
Earlier this week, we saw Maui County filing a lawsuit against Hawaiian Electric. Now we see Hawaiian Electric blaming Maui County officials for their inadequate response, and even said there was no electricity flowing through the wires in that area. That's right. Hawaiian Electric said it had de-energized all of its power lines in Maui hours before the devastating wildfires broke out.
People understand. Hawaii Electric, Hawaii Power announced today that they cut power to the lines 6 hours. Their stock is on a freaking tear. The reason the stock was on a tear is that they think the liabilities are going away. They cut the power in Maui 6 hours before the fire. This Maui thing, I'm telling you, there's something not right. There's something not right. For 3 weeks. And here's the thing. They knew, and authorities knew they cut the power 3 weeks ago. So why are we just hearing it today?
So once again, the government is lying about the power lines being the cause of the fire. The electric company said its power lines were turned off 6 hours before the deadly blaze began. We now need to take a look at who's behind Hawaiian Electric. Taking a look at the top shareholders, and once again, we see Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. What are the odds that BlackRock is not only behind the electric company, but is also behind the second largest holder of land on Maui and behind the largest land grab in history that is currently taking place? Oh, and also, what are the odds that BlackRock owned banks on Maui? They were all miraculously spared from the fires. So BlackRock failed to update the power lines and trim back trees, even though there is a specific page dedicated entirely to tree trimming safety on Hawaiian Electric's very own website. Brian Deese, a former BlackRock investment executive, serves on the National Economic Council. The former chief of staff to BlackRock's chief executive is also a top official at the Treasury Department. Previously sitting as the global chief investment strategist at BlackRock, Michael Pyle is now the chief economic advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris. All 3 also worked with the Obama administration. Former BlackRock executive Eric Van Nostrand joined the U.S. Treasury Department as well. In the past, we've seen the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, say this.
It's just, you have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
For the first time in history, there's been an emergency proclamation by a governor even before there's an actual emergency.
Green has declared a housing emergency. The proclamation is designed to push through Hawaii's regulatory red tape, but some groups are alarmed.
Governor Green says it's time to get aggressive on housing.
We're waiving some of the restrictions on the amount of land that, that historically was, allowable for building, because we just want to get going.
The working group would not be subject to sunshine laws.
I'm just very disappointed and really alarmed.
For the first time in history, I believe, there has been an emergency proclamation by a governor before there's an emergency. Josh Green, on July 17th, 3 weeks before the fire, issued an emergency proclamation which gave blanket powers to people to go in and work on getting development projects for, you guessed it, his state. But this is a very, very dangerous precedent. Also, it begs to question what is going on. Why would someone do that? Why would this guy do that? What is the purpose of that? Start waking up. You're going to find out that there are some very nefarious things going on that are alarming. And they are worse, by the way, than Larry Ellison, the owner of Lanai. They're worse than the billionaires like Oprah and Bill Gates. They're actually worse than that. They're deeper than that. But it's time to wake up and understand that there's some really strange things going on that don't add up. And this is scary for America, and it's a wake up for the entire nation.
So we're seeing a big impact. And so the faster that we could find ways to mitigating the rising temperatures, I would say the more just society could be. And so to me, it's we don't have much time. And this is why when I learned about Catalyst and I learned about what Bill was doing, it was very clear to me why we needed to be a part of this, why we needed to invest the time and the money. And the key is also the time, because we need to be learning about these the new technologies and how to move forward. And we need to then inform our investors ultimately where we think the next opportunities are going to be too. And as Bill in his book wrote about, we need to employ $50 trillion to get to a green world.
It's pretty extraordinary that we, select group of human beings, because of whatever touched us at some point in our lives, are able to sit in a room and come together and actually talk about saving the planet. I mean, it's so almost extraterrestrial to think about, quote, saving the planet. And if you said that to most people, they think you're just a crazy tree-hugging, lefty, liberal, do-gooder, whatever. I'm convinced we will get to a low-carbon, no-carbon economy. We're going to get there because we have to. I am not convinced we're going to get there in time to do what the scientists said, which is avoid the worst consequences of the crisis. So how do we get there? Well, the lesson I've learned in the last years, and I learned it as secretary and I've learned it since, reinforced in spades, is money, 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 money.
This is a safety crisis.
Every recognizable person in American politics and entertainment flies private. Nancy Pelosi flies private. Barack Obama flies private. Leonardo DiCaprio, famous, flies private. You know who flies private? A lot? Al Gore flies private. Michael Bloomberg, boy does he fly private. In a 4-year period, the UN climate envoy, Mr. Bloomberg, took more than 1,700 private flights, burning more than 10,000 metric tons of CO2. You could never do that. If you filled your yard with diesel engines and never turned them off, you would not do that. Your car emits less than 5 metric tons of CO2 a year. So this is meaningful. This is an actual offense against Mother Earth and the climate. So you have to wonder what the defenders of climate think of this. What about the climate warriors at Greenpeace and the Sierra Club and the Environmental Defense Fund? Have they noticed this? Not really. Have they scolded their donors for undermining their core message? No, of course not.
Back with the rising deficits that we see in governments, from our perspective, the 50 trillion is mostly going to have to come from the private sector.
Money, 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 money.
And I do believe that money will be well spent for returns. It will transform our economies.
Money, 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 money.
It will build new jobs. It will build new cities and new.
What a wonderful
by a powerful community as you here in this room. We have the means to improve the state of the
They're doing this. It's happening. So if you're one of 9 million people that never want to drive a car again or go outside, this is for you. Take a look.
too long, humanity has existed within dysfunctional and polluted cities that ignore nature. Now, a revolution in civilization is taking place. Imagine a traditional city and consolidating its footprint, designing to protect and enhance nature. The line will be home to 9 million residents and will be built with a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. And we are designing it to provide a healthier, more sustainable quality of life. The line's communities are organized in 3 dimensions. Residents have access to all their daily needs within 5-minute walk neighborhoods. And the line's infrastructure makes it possible to travel end to end in 20 minutes with no need for cars, resulting in 0 carbon emissions. By leveraging AI technology, services are autonomous, saving you time and effort. Designed by world-leading architects, the line is 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, 170 kilometers long, and housed within an elegant mirror glass facade. Intelligent solutions create efficiency and year-round temperate microclimate with natural ventilation. Energy and water supplies are 100% renewable. The line is designed as a series of unique communities, offering a wealth of amenities, providing equitable views and immediate access to the surrounding nature. With 40% of the world accessible within 6 hours, at the heart of the globe's key trade routes, a place for commerce and communities to thrive like nothing on Earth seen before. The Line, the city that delivers new wonders for the world.
New opportunities. So I look at this as an optimist. I don't look at this as a pessimist, but the key is to be that optimist. We have to jump on it now.
Money, 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 money.
We have to be investing today. We need to talk about it today, although much of the problem is in the future. But we're seeing more and more evidence of the problem today.
Maniacs, these demon-possessed maniacs running the West, are determined to dominate the world, even if it means the destruction of the planet, the death of 1 to 2 billion people. They don't care.
Then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games. But this doesn't sound like a very appealing future. Why? Because the scientists said so.
A new religion emerges, that of scientism. Masquerading as materialists and atheists, the prophets of this new creed cry out in the town square, the coming age of transhumanism, when man will finally become like gods.
Imagine tossing your cigarette in the street and then a couple days later, you walk into an art gallery and see your face printed on the wall. Artist Heather Dewey Hogborg collects DNA samples from stuff we throw away regularly, like chewing gum and cigarettes, and creates detailed masks of what that person might look like in a series called Stranger Visions. The collection is intended to call attention to the developing technology of forensic DNA phenotyping and the potential for a culture of biological surveillance through genetic tampering.
Breakthrough Media. Breakthrough Media.